Trenuj w sprzęcie dla najlepszych. Wejdź na groundgame.com.
Techniki, analizy, ciekawostki i konkursy. Wszystko na kanale MMA Skills, także wbijaj. Hej!
The undefeated Sean O'Malley, of course. Another fight week for you. Give us the feelings right now ahead of another big fight for you.
I feel good. I'm excited. The crowds are back, and I clearly don't need them to go out there and perform. I've proved that, and but the fact that they're coming back, it ups everything.
Yeah. Wouldn't be the Sugar Show without a little bit of drama, right? I mean, you get the late switch up in opponent, but you tweeted out, I think, not surprised. I mean, so were you just the whole time really mentally preparing to have to switch things up?
It was weird. I just wasn't, like, when I got the call, I was just like, I truly wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised that it happened. Yeah.
How about the opponent itself, right? Because it seemed like there was a list of people putting their names, putting their hands in the air, and then you end up with a newcomer. Were you surprised at that they brought somebody in from outside the promotion?
They sent me a list of a couple guys, Simon being one of them. I told them, I said, I want to obviously stay on the card. I've had a great camp. My weight's trending for a bantamweight fight. Find me someone that can make 35. They sent me a list of a couple guys. Simon was the toughest one on there, and I picked him. They called me and said, oh, he can't make weight. So I don't know if it was just a miscommunication that he put his name in there for 45. But I was pretty clear with the UFC. I said I want to fight at 35. So I don't know. There was a lot of people on Twitter that called me out that weren't on that list. I don't know if I don't really know. I just I'm just happy I'm on the card at 35.
And that's a good thing. They're getting to compete. But does it feel almost like a no-win situation? I mean, obviously this guy comes in and shocks you. He's shocking the world. You beat him. It's like, oh, Malley beat another can. When are they ever going to test this guy?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the word around town. It's a lot of people think it's a lose-lose for me. I make a lot of money, go out there and knock this kid out. This kid's tough. This is not, I watched one of his fights this morning for the first time. He's not just a scrub. He's not a nobody. He is kind of a nobody. No one really knows who he is, but to be fair, not a lot of people know who Simon is really. I mean, he's beat a couple dudes in the UFC. I couldn't tell you how many fights he's even had in the UFC. So yeah, he comes in there, shocks the world. It's a huge fight for him. Props for him just, stepping up to take it. He might be thinking it's a win-win for him. He goes out there and loses. He's in the UFC. But I don't just knock people out. I change people's careers. I really, mentally, the way I knock people out, they gotta, they step into that cage, they're different the next fight out there. So this could be the beginning of his career, or this could be the end of his career. We'll see.
Nice. The last thing for me, I guess, what is the goal for you? I know you want to go out there and win, but it seems like you're pretty pumped up with fans back in the building. So does it feel like you want to go in there and put on even more of a show than normal, or do something extra special, those viral moments that you're famous for?
Yeah, I don't think I have to do anything extra special. I think everything I do is pretty special. It's pretty extra special anyway. I'm ready for 15-minute war. This kid's tough. My knockouts don't come from me trying to get viral knockouts. They come from, it's just my style. It's how I've been knocking people out since I was 16 years old. It just happens. And if I go out there and try to force something like that, that's when it gets, that's when it's dangerous for me. So I go out there, I'm ready for a 15-minute war. Just so happens that I find people's chins in spectacular fashion.
Sean, over to your left over here. Recent interview you did, you were talking about how everyone wants to see you fight a wrestler, and that's something we haven't seen from you yet. So instead of getting a wrestler, have you ever thought about going into a matchup like this one, for example, and trying to show it off ahead of time before you get these wrestlers?
Well, people want to see me get wrestled. They don't want to see me wrestle. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm 26 years old. I got 10 years in the UFC. We're going to see me fight a wrestler. That was one of the reasons I picked Simon. He literally, his game plan is to lay on me, and I wanted to go out there and put his lights out. So he missed a huge opportunity. He could even said, I'm going to make 35, came in and missed weight, still gets to fight me on the biggest card, still gets knocked out, but gets to fight me. So, I think, I got 10 years of fighting. We're gonna see me fight a wrestler.
So are you kind of looking at Ricky next, or
No, he missed his opportunity, man. He really did. It sucks for him, but definitely not. I got someone in my mind who's going to be next.
All right, sounds good. And you're very popular on Twitch. Been doing the gaming. So just curious, going back, like, what was your favorite game growing up?
Yeah, I get addicted to one game at a time. Some people play like 3-4 different games. I get addicted, and in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to be the best in the world at this game. Unrealistic. But favorite game growing up depends how old I was. Madden was up there. Call of Duty was up there. Halo at one point was up there. Probably Call of Duty if I had to pick one.
Best of luck, Sean. Thanks.
Thank you.
Sean, right here. How's the last few months been for you, like outside the octagon? Because we've seen you at the Triller shows, we've seen you at the concerts and everything. So, how's life been between fights?
Yeah. After I did the conference last time, I said I wanted to go to that fight, and you guys made it happen. So thank you. Yeah, the Triller event was nuts. It was fun. It was my first time going to like a big party like that. And it was fun. And that lifestyle can pull you in 100%. I could see how people get sucked into that. I think I partied like 3 weekends in a row, which was, I've never done that. It was fun. It was a really good time. Yeah, I'm very, very prepared.
Will you be going to the Jake Paul Woodley fight?
Where's that at? Is that Miami as well? No.
We don't know yet.
We don't know. I'm going to be there 100%.
And then after your last fight, you said you were very excited specifically to fight Thomas Almeida because he kind of flat-footed, goes forward, and you could do a lot of damage to him throughout the fight. Specifically with Chris, have you watched anything that shows that you are excited for this stylistic matchup?
Yeah, like I said, I watched him fight for the first time this morning. He likes to stand southpaw. I haven't really fought any southpaws, so that'll be interesting. But it doesn't really look like he's fought any southpaws, and I can literally stand both stances and be just as effective, offensive and defensive. I do that better than anybody in the UFC. So we'll see how he adapts to a southpaw and southpaw. I've knocked a lot of my first pro boxing fight, my only pro boxing fight was southpaw and southpaw, and I broke that dude's jaw. So we'll see which stance he wants to come out with.
Were you looking to fight a southpaw for this next fight, like specifically, or did it just happen you picked this fight and he's a southpaw?
No, I didn't know. I didn't know he was southpaw till this morning. I know Smolka. I'm pretty sure he's just orthodox. Everyone kind of switches here and there a little bit, but I think Smolka was orthodox. And yeah.
And then 2 more quick ones. Will we see you courtside at the NBA Finals back home at all?
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, that would be insane. I went to the Lakers Suns game, and we were up in like the suites, and it's just not the same. I want to be courtside, or else I'd rather watch at home. But yeah, if we could make that happen, yeah.
Lil Wayne's been very loud courtside for those fights. I mean, those games.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's definitely something I would like to do.
And then finally, prediction for the main event: Conor and Dustin.
I think Conor gets it done. I think it's such a tricky fight. It's a tricky fight. Even just saying that right now, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe goes into the later rounds and doesn't. I don't know, man. I think Conor gets it done.
Sean, real quickly to your right, bit of left field, but who do you favor in the upcoming Sandhagen and Dillashaw fight, and why?
Good question. That's in this cage, right? Apex, small cage. I think that. I don't think people realize how much different fights are from little cage to big cage. That fight's going to be crazy because they both just move so much. There's a lot of question marks around TJ. Can he perform without needles? I don't know. No one knows. We'll see. Corey can. We've seen him do it. We don't know how long TJ's been taking that. How does that affect him mentally? There's a lot of question marks there. I got Corey. I think Corey's going to get the job done.
Thanks.
Hey, Sean, can I ask you a little bit more? This fight, coming into Las Vegas, the big fight card at T-Mobile sold out, kind of the first big event here in the fight capital of the world. Can you talk a little bit about being on this card, the importance of this, and kind of getting back to normal with everything?
Yeah, even when we were fighting at the Apex, it definitely felt a little off without the crowds. But for fight week, it's pretty much it feels normal every time we do fight week. Little things different here and there. if there was no fans, I would go out there and do the same thing I'm going to do. Just having the fans, it just makes it more exciting, more energy, more electric. And the Conor Dustin, this could be potentially the biggest card ever, or biggest pay-per-view ever. More eyeballs than ever. And there's a ton of celebrities that are going to be out. A lot of people performing in Vegas that weekend. So all eyes are on the fight card Saturday night.
And then, can I ask you a little bit? The Athletic Commission no longer testing for marijuana, weed now. I mean, just your thoughts on that.
Is that true? Is that like for sure? Oh wow.
Passed it today.
Yeah, I'm usually about 2 weeks out kind of guy to where I stop because the munchies. I don't know if you heard about them. And we got to cut weight, and it's just no. I like the little 2 weeks break. Because if I didn't have to do it, which I guess I don't now anymore, but I always enjoyed the little 2 weeks. It made it. I enjoy the 2 week break, so I'm excited for after. But yeah, nothing changes there for me. I'll probably continue to do 2 weeks out.
Hey, Sean, over here. Your hair matches your shirt pretty well, but is it going to stay that way until Saturday?
Yeah, the hair matched the whole merch drop. I had the Sugar Show merch drop. I wrapped my Tesla in the same colors, pink and blue. It's just fun to play around with that. The merch drop went really, really well. And then Danny, my girl, she does my hair, so it's always fun to just play around with the different looks.
Thank you.
Sean, to your left. So you're one of the most criticized fighters. Everybody calls you out. Everybody wants to fight you. Everybody criticizes your opponents. Why do you think that is? Because a lot of the fighters don't get the attention you get. They're jealous?
I think a lot of fighters don't get the attention I get. I'm putting on beautiful performances. It comes down to the knockouts, really. I mean, going back to the Alfred knockout, even before that, and when I was in the UFC, when I fought David Nuzzo, that knockout went viral. It comes down to the performances. People are attracted to that. I think it comes down to the performances, and then the outfits. Even it's just little things that get attention. I mean, this is my fight. Even though I'm fighting Chris, who's never been in the UFC, is still going to do huge numbers. There's still going to be a ton of people watching this fight, a ton of people that are excited for this fight. I feel like my fan base is just as excited for my fight as they are the trilogy, Conor versus Dustin, which is insane. And I think the numbers will show that. I don't know if you can really prove that at all, but if you can, I think it would show that.
How much of the marketing is it in the octagon versus outside of the octagon? Because some guys can fight and they don't get the attention.
Yeah, everything I do outside the octagon isn't really. I mean, it is kind of marketing. It is kind of thought about, but a lot of it's just because I enjoy it. The podcast, the streaming on Twitch, making vlogs on YouTube. It's because I enjoy that stuff, and it just so happens to be marketing as well.
Last question. Conor McGregor has left a lasting legacy on the sport. How has he inspired you as a fighter? Because he's obviously changed the game in terms of not just being a fighter, but being a superstar.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the first time I watched him fight was against Max Holloway. And he's just something about him. You're like, damn, I want to watch him fight again. I want to continue to watch. And I just, I've watched every single interview he's ever done. I've watched all of his fights multiple times. I love the way he carries himself. And a lot of people said I try to be like Conor. It's like I don't know. I mean, you can have two people that have similar personalities. Like, oh, you try to dress like Conor. You try to fight like Conor. Try to act like Conor. Talk like Conor. It's like, no, that's not true at all. I definitely have taken bits and pieces and learned from him, which I think is a smart thing to do. Learn from someone who's that successful and doing that well. But yeah, he's definitely inspired me a ton. The way he carries himself, the way he handles pressure, the way he goes into these big fights. I've learned a lot from him. I'm pumped to meet him. I've never met him, so it'll be cool.
Sean, over here on your left, your rival Chito Vera recently put on an impressive performance against Davey Grant. You said that your main takeaway was that Chito seemed slow. What did Chito do in that fight that impressed you, and does that rematch interest you potentially next after this weekend since Chito is a ranked opponent?
Chito's tough. That's it. He's tough. He's slow. I think we all saw that. I was very high watching that. I'm like, is this slow motion or is he actually that slow? He's slow. He's just not, which is, he's tough. That's his best attribute is he's durable and he's tough. A rematch after this fight, no, I don't think he's quite deserved that yet. He beat Davy Grant. I didn't even know Davy Grant was a person. I'm about to beat Chris. No one knows he's a person either. So, but I have someone in mind I'm gonna call out after this fight. It's not Cheeto. I think that's a big fight down the line if he continues to win.
And you recently said that you don't necessarily mind fighting whoever the UFC chooses for you because, in your opinion, they're all easy. Out of the top 15 at bantamweight, who presents the toughest challenge for you and why?
I mean, realistically, everyone in the top 10 is a tough fight. Fighting is crazy. Going in there with anybody, I mean, even Chris, no one knows. I mean, it's still a fight. It's still going to be a tough fight. Yeah, I mean, realistically, the whole top 10 is tough fights. I just believe in my preparation and my skill set that I can take them all out.
And last one for me. You said recently that you're going to knock out Chris with something never done before. What should fans expect to see in this fight?
Yeah, that's the plan. Go out there and get another viral knockout. But like I said, when I close my eyes, I kind of try to picture what would be crazy, what would be insane, what's never been done before. Just to kind of plant the seed in my mind. Maybe if I see that opportunity in the octagon, the idea is hurt him. I want to hurt him to where he's, when I hurt Eddie, he was like just hardly there. When I hurt Alfred in the Contender Series, he was just hardly there. Those are the moments that I can pick and choose what kind of knockouts I want. I got to hurt him first, and then I get the spectacular knockout. So yeah, I plan on doing, going in there. Like I said, I'm ready for 15 minutes. If it's gonna be 15 minutes, we saw me against Thomas Almeida. I could have went 5-5. I'm ready for 15 minutes. I'd like to hurt him and do something that's never been seen before.
Thanks, Sean.
Sean, do you have a post-fight strain picked out yet?
Post-fight strain? No, I don't. I plan on getting a little drunk after, actually, a little buzzed up, and then maybe wind down about 3-4 a.m. with a joint. But I plan on getting buzzed up after.
Hey, Sean. One of the functions of trash talk, sort of intended or not, is marketing, as you were just talking about. I'm just curious how you would compare sort of talking smack in the capacity of a UFC fighter versus doing so as a gamer on Twitch or otherwise.
God, yeah, talking smack on gaming. That's probably where I got it from. Call of Duty's trash talk's the worst too. Like it's bad. Compared to talking trash in the UFC, I feel like you have to have a good opponent, not a good opponent, but someone fun to talk trash to. Like with Smolka, I didn't say anything bad. I mean, I said he licked the wrestling match because he tried to get staffed, but that was after. But I had nothing bad to say about Smolka. I really don't have anything bad to say about Chris. I'm thankful he took the fight, and he should be thankful that he gets the fight. But yeah, I think the Peter Yan fight, the Cody Garbrandt fight, the TJ Dillashaw fight. Those are going to be the ones where it's going to be some mental warfare, some back and forth bickering, some shit talking, and I'll probably practice on Call of Duty. Yeah.
What kind of practice, and what lessons have you learned in Call of Duty?
Can't get your feelings hurt. Can't take it personal.
That makes sense. All right.
Second round KO.
Chris, welcome to the UFC. I guess it's still feel a little bit surreal. I mean, here you are and on the big stage. What's the feel like for you?
Yeah, man, it's a crazy feeling, to be sure, man. I've never been part of something this big and something this extravagant is the word, you know what I mean? So it's crazy, but as the fight part, like, it feels like the same old thing I've done most of my life, you know what I mean? I've been fighting 15 years training, all different types of martial arts, so that part's the same, man. When we go in there, it's gonna be a war, and I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Nice. How did the whole process happen? Because obviously, you know, it was a surprise to a lot of people. You know, not that you weren't on the radar, but just that it happened so quick.
Yeah, man, it was a surprise to me as well. You know what I mean? I'm just as thrown as a loop as you guys, so it's crazy. I love it, man. My coach, when the sweepstakes came out, the Sean O'Malley sweepstakes, he was like, "It's a long shot, man. You want to just throw your name in?" And I was like, "Why not? Yeah, let's do it." A couple days went by, wasn't hearing anything. I was like, probably not gonna happen. Then he was like, "Okay, you made it past the first round, man. They took your name. They're gonna look at it." Within 15 minutes, I was getting DMs from random people telling me I'm gonna get knocked out and get beat up, and I was like, "Oh man, what are you guys talking about?" 5 minutes after that, he called me back and was like, "Yeah, man, we got it. Just get ready, cut the weight, and let's go show the world who I am."
Nice. Was it anything about the O'Malley fight in particular? I mean, obviously you wanted to get to the UFC, but was there anything about this opportunity in particular that, you know, you were excited about, or was it just getting into the UFC?
Well, obviously, just getting into the UFC is something I've worked super hard for. But it's just the start of my journey. You know what I mean? I want to be looked at as a world champion, as a future Hall of Famer. That's my end goal. It's lofty, but that's where I want to get to. But the O'Malley fight's great, man. It shoots me up a couple tiers on that list if I knock them out. So it's any opportunity was amazing, man. I every day fighting, you know what I mean? We don't know if we're ever going to get this shot. There's hundreds and thousands of people trying to do the same thing I am, training just as hard as I am, just as talented, if not more talented. So I'm super excited, man, and I can't wait to show you all who I am.
Nice. Do you get to look at this as a no-lose situation? I mean, right, like you come in on short notice, on, you know, pressure-packed situation. If you come out short, everybody goes, well, what'd you expect? I mean, can you allow yourself to think that way at all, or do you feel like, no, I got to go in there and win this fight?
A loss is a loss. You know, a loss is a loss. I don't care. My whole life I've been super competitive. I'm a very competitive person, and I'll never be happy with a loss. Whether it's on 10 days' notice, I'm a fighter. I'm always ready to fight, and if I can't fight 15 minutes on a day's notice or 10 days' notice, then I shouldn't be here.
Nice. Last thing for me, I mean, for a lot of people, this is probably be the first time they ever see you fight. So if they're looking at this fight card, they're going, "Who is this kid? I don't know what it is." Why should they tune in? What are they going to see when you fight?
Why they should tune in? They should tune in because I'm the most exciting fighter that this roster is gonna have on the card. I'm coming to bring a war the entire time, and win, lose, or draw, there will be blood, and I can't wait.
Chris, over here, other side. A lot of fighters that take these last-minute fights, specifically for their debut, they say they prefer that method because they don't have to. It doesn't weigh on their mind. They're not dwelling on it for weeks at a time. They just get thrown right into the fire. Do you prefer this last-minute fight for your debut, or would you have preferred a full camp leading up to it?
Man, as long as I get the shot, you know what I mean? Either way, obviously I would love a full camp. I'd love to be fully prepared, have my coaches do the game planning and all that stuff, but I'm always ready to fight, man. I've been fighting most of my life, and I can't express how much I am ready to do this. You know what I mean? I'm ready to go into fight. The fighting part's the easy part. It's all the cutting weight and all this media stuff that I'm not used to yet. I'll get used to it quick. So I'm just ready to go out and show you guys because I can't even talk, man. I'm so excited. You know what I mean?
And similar question. A lot of these fighters that take these last-minute fights, they're making their debuts on these big cards. Like Terrence McKinney, for example, he couldn't stop talking about running into fighters that he had watched on TV for so long. So have you run into any fighters that you've been a big fan of this week?
Yeah, there's so many, dude. Like I saw Nico Price at the hotel, Joe Benavidez in the back. There's so many guys that I've been growing up watching and seeing them and being like, I could be there. I could be those guys. And it's just surreal that this actually happened, man. I was literally didn't believe that it was gonna happen when he told me. I thought he was joking. You know what I mean? So I'm just so happy, man. I'm so happy to see all you people and get my name out there and allow my family to like actually believe that all the things I was saying to them this whole time is gonna come true, and I'm gonna show the world who I am.
When Sean was in here earlier, he left and said second round knockout. That was his prediction. So do you have a prediction for your fight?
Yeah, we'll go second round knockout too. I can't wait.
Chris, over here on your left.
What's up, man?
I was just wondering if you had a prediction for the main event.
That's tough, man, because it just depends on. I feel like it depends on what Connor shows up. You know what I mean? If it's the old Connor, it could be a bad night for Poirier. If it's not the old Connor, Dustin's gonna take it. So it's a toss up. I'm gonna say Connor, but who knows?
In your opinion, what is Sean O'Malley's biggest weakness that you can expose?
Not so much just a weakness. He's very talented, explosive kid. But I just don't think somebody's been in there to push him that way. You know what I mean? The only time he ever was kind of pushed was the Cheeto fight, and he got hurt, so he pulled it. He has a little fallback to why he was gonna win that fight, but he got hurt. So I think I'm just gonna stay in his face, man, and put the pressure. And I think that's something that he's not comfortable with.
And the UFC signed you specifically for this fight. I'm just curious, did you sign a one-fight deal, or should we expect to see you back in the octagon after Saturday night?
I don't want to get into I think it was a couple fight deal, so I should be back. You know what I mean?
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you,
Chris.
Fight that you would say they should search for on the internet and watch that would represent the kind of fighter you are?
Yeah, you should watch my last couple fights. I fought for lower promotions, the CES and CFFC. My last fight at CFFC was a little over a month ago. So you guys can check that out on get Fight Pass or whatever it is, because man, I've been putting on great fights my entire career, and I fought some of the best talent outside the UFC, and some of them are in the UFC now. Like I fought Manny Bermudez when he was in the UFC in my amateur career, and then I fought Tony Gravely not too long ago in a crazy fight. So I've been fighting some of the better dudes in the country for a very long time.
And when Conor made his UFC debut, he was, a famous story now. He was broke. He was an apprentice plumber, all that stuff, and ends up becoming a superstar and one of the richest athletes in the world. Are you in that situation where he was back then? I mean, are you struggling to get by on a day-to-day basis, given how your life has been going?
No, I'm not broke. I wasn't broke before. I had a job where I was working 80 hours a week, and literally this beginning of June, I decided, I was like, I'm all done with this. I'm not working 80 hours and I don't care about this money. I decided I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit my job. Beginning of June, I started teaching at different schools and started just trying to build a personal training. And literally a month later, I'm in the UFC, and I get all the hard work. I keep pushing out to God, because if you follow the path God sets out for you, good things happen in life.
What was the job you had that you were working 80 hours?
I was working in a paint factory.
So what did you do?
I just ran a line and filled paint cans, and it made okay money, and but it's not what I love. My goal in life is whether I make less money or make more money, my goal is to do something I love for the rest of my life, and something I can be happy with. And the only thing I've ever been happy with is fighting and training and doing this. If it doesn't end up working out, man, that's the way the cookie crumbles, man. I'm ready for whatever outcome comes.
You steal some of the product to get the
yeah.
So you might be the first guy to challenge O'Malley in terms of the hair contest on the night of the fight, because he tends to have some pretty good colorful hair.
Yeah, he's got a little more money. His still might look better, but it's all right, man. No, I'm okay with it. I don't need to be the superstar pretty boy like him. He can have it. He can have the good talking and all that stuff. He can keep it. I'm just here to fight, man. I'm here to just do what I love.
And my last question for you: were you born in New England? Is that where you were from? And I lived in New England for a long time, so I know kind of a tough area, and a lot of people come up hard. Fighting is a big part of it. Did you start fighting in the streets? Is that something that you did? How you got into the game, or?
No, man. Yeah, I was born and raised in Milford, Massachusetts, and no, I didn't start. I wasn't a big fighter outside of this, but I started in high school. I started wrestling, and just like every other cliche, man, I started wrestling, and I just fell in love with this kind of sport, man. Being able to either dominate somebody or get beat up is awakens you like nothing else does. You know what I mean? There's a thing that just flips off in your head that no other sport I've ever done can set me up for it. So when my first coach opened up his gym. My first coach was in the UFC for many years, George Rivera, and he taught me so much about what I need to do to get here and what I need to be able to be part of this. And I'm just so blessed to know that I got here and be from the place I am. Massachusetts has made some crazy killers. Even the guys that are killing it now in the UFC, you see the Cartel and all those, Rob Font and all those guys. So I'm just glad to be part of it now.
Chris, to your left over here.
Oh, my bad.
Now that you're in the UFC, like, how active are you hoping to be going forward?
I'm just going to take it one fight at a time. Hopefully, once I get the ball going, yeah, I can be pretty active. I'm usually try to fight every couple months, but I know with the UFC it's a little different. So I'm just going to take it one fight at a time and see how this one goes, and try to take Sean out.
Good luck.
God bless, guys.
Ilya, welcome back. You had two quick wins to start your UFC career, then it's been 7 months. So I'm curious, was that by design? Did you want some time off, or were you hoping to fight sooner?
No, I'm okay to fight right now. I feel like in the best shape of my life. I'm here to show it to everyone.
Very nice. What do you think about this matchup with Ryan? He's a guy that has struggled to get opponents because people seem to think too much risk, not enough reward. What did you think when they presented you with this?
In reality, he has a very rare style. But when I grow up in the gym, we have like close to 30 black belts, and I have a lot of guys there who has a very similar style to him. So for me, his style is very familiar. So it was a nice opportunity, and we are ready to get that win.
Was there any hesitation at all because he is such a unique fighter, or did you just think, it's just another grappler?
Yeah, for me, he's like a normal person. How can I say you? Like, nothing special for me. Because, like I said you, when I grow up, I have a lot of guys who has a very similar style to him. So it's a good opportunity for me.
Nice. Do you think people make too much about his uniqueness and danger?
Yeah, 100%. He's not so good like everyone is talking about him.
Interesting. So
yeah.
I was going to ask you if maybe, obviously you have fantastic grappling as well, but I was going to ask if you thought maybe this is a fight that you should spend on the feet, that you should strike. But do you feel like it's almost more like you want to engage him in the grappling game to show that it's not as good as everybody says it is?
No, of course I'm going to try to be in stand-up all the time, but I have no problems to go with him in the ground, because if you see him, he has 4 fights inside the UFC, and he has just one submission against a BJ Penn who wasn't the same guy we was watching him like 10 years ago. He was an older man, and he get the submission, but he have another 3 fights, and it was like disgusting. I'm sorry.
Nice. So what do you want? Do you want to come in here and do you want to submit him, or does it matter? Do you have like a certain goal of how you want this fight to go?
I just want to enjoy. I just want to get that win, and I want the people to enjoy, because I don't come here to people to bore it. I come here to make people enjoy. I don't come here to people to hate me. I want them to love me. So I come here to put a performance for him.
Very nice. Last question for you. You come in, you entertain. Your record will still be undefeated. This will be a big name. What do you want next? Are you already thinking about rankings and contention and that sort of thing?
Everyone in my team knows that I don't have any problem to fight to someone who is next to me. I don't want to fight to anyone who is behind me. So if there is someone next to me in the rankings, it doesn't matter for me who is. He's Rambo, Conan, or who he is. I want to fight to him.
Ilya, just behind him here. For those of us who've never been, how popular in Georgia is MMA, let's say, relative to other sports there?
it's getting every day more popular in Georgia and Spain, and I'm happy that I'm part of making the sport popular in the country.
It seems like in the last, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, there's been an explosion of Georgian fighters. Was there some reason why it was the last 5 to 10 years or so? Hard to say.
I don't have any question for that.
How popular do you think it'll be in 10 years in Georgia?
In 10 years it's going to be very, very popular, I think. I think it's going to be very, very popular because they're going to have a champion there. So it's going to be popular, no doubt.
Yeah, over here. Right here. What would you make? How would you rank Ryan Hall's striking? I know he's highly touted on the ground, but if the fight is standing, does he present any dangers on the feet?
Man, come on. He's very bad in striking. He don't has a knockout power. He's just like a shitty kicks and nothing else.
Going off of that last question in Georgia, do you have any healthy competition with like Giga and Marab and everyone to see who will get the championship first?
No. I'm happy to see how they are growing up, and I don't have any competition with him.
Yana, welcome back to Vegas. Does it feel like a trip home when you're here, or are you all Florida now?
Yeah, we're coming here like every 2 or 3 months for my fight or for Thiago, so we feel like second home.
Very nice. This is a couple of wins in a row now, 4-1 in the last 5. I mean, it's a nice time in your career. What does the flow feel like for you right now?
I feel good about this. I think I'm improved so much after we moved to Florida and start training American top team, and I think it's a good time for me to keep moving up.
And you get this matchup with Irene, who's coming off a loss, but they were talking about maybe a title shot for her. So what did you think when you offered this as the fight?
First, I'm so happy that the UFC always give me opportunity to fight opponent who hire me in ranking. And I think she will be so motivated after loss, and I'm so excited for this fight.
Stylistically, what do you make of her? Everybody talks about her boxing. Is that the one thing you worry about with her?
Yeah, I think she's a good boxer, but in this level, everyone very good rounded, so we prepare for everything, like always.
And it's back in front of a full arena again, a Conor McGregor crowd. I mean, it's going to be amazing. So does that add something to the feel for you?
I used to enjoy so much this time when there was no people. For me, if only me and my opponent, it will be like perfect scenario. But it is what it is.
What did you enjoy about it? Was it just less nerves or being able to hear the coaches, or what was it?
No, first, yes, I can hear my corner better, and I'm just person like this wherever I am. I prefer like less people. I feel more comfortable.
Like I said, they were talking about Aldana maybe getting a title shot. Are you thinking with a win here that you should be in that discussion for title shot as well?
I think yes, but there's Misha Tate come back, so we will see what happened after her fight. I really would like. I saw video, she called me out, and maybe if we both win these fights, maybe it will be interesting matchup.
Nice. Did y'all train together?
We train a little bit. We're like good with each other. We like roll a little and train conditional, but it's fight. It's not personal. I'm so much respect her, and but I really would like to have this fight.
Do you want to fight her because she's a big star, or because you got the better of her in the gym?
No, like everything. I really like her personality, and I think she have a big name, and it's gonna be an interesting fight.
Yeah, no question. There's a lot of possibilities. So, what's the goal here on Saturday? Is it just to win, or do you feel like you need to do something, special or spectacular, so that they want to give you a matchup like that?
Yeah, sure. I would like to have like a excited fight, and but we will see how things going. And I'm not always not look over fight wherever it will be like next opponent. I'm focusing Iran now.
Yeah, over here. Irene was out here earlier, and she said in her last fight against Holly Holm, she hadn't recovered from COVID. She had like a hurt foot. She wasn't 100%. When you were watching that fight, could you tell something was off in her performance while watching it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think biggest trouble what she had, her game plan didn't work, and she didn't try to change it, or maybe she didn't find like was a little bit like lost about this, and she tried to keep those things what not work. And I think it was biggest problem. She tried to follow, and it didn't work. And maybe I didn't hear her corner, but people say that they didn't do a good job and didn't give good advices. Maybe this part too about this. But I'm sure she's gonna be prepared better for this fight.
She also said that what she took away is even though that was her worst performance, she didn't get finished. She still fought for 25 rounds. So outside of like her boxing and striking and everything, do you think her toughness would be her biggest strength coming into this fight?
Yeah, absolutely. She, as I remember, she never was finished in all her career, and I think it's showing so much her toughness. But we prepare for this.
Yana, over here. You know, in your last fight, you won the fight primarily, you know, fighting off of your back. So in this matchup where Irina is a great boxer, you're kind of hoping maybe you could show off some of your top game a little bit more?
Sorry again?
Your top game on the ground, are you hoping to show that off a little bit more?
Yeah, but you know, I'm striker too, and but I like wrestling, I like grappling, and who knows where fight will be. But I'm sure I'm better in all aspects.
And you've had a good lengthy career at this point now. I'm just curious, what would you say has been the biggest learning experience for you in your career?
Biggest learning experience? You mean?
In your career so far?
I'm not so good at understand question. Sorry.
Maybe a moment that stands out the most to you that was like a turning point in your career?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest point was first fight in UFC, because it was short notice with Cyborg, like moving weight up for title fight. It was like crazy emotional for me, and I think after this I learned how to control myself more, and it's helped a lot in the next fights.
And you started your career out, fighting everywhere around in Europe. So I'm just kind of curious, when you look back on that time now, what do you remember most about the early days in your career?
I think it was so different, like everything was different level, and different opportunities. It's why I had big break, like 4 or 5 years, because you have to train so hard, but it's like crazy low money, and it's like not pay off. But after UFC start make female fights, everything changed, and level of female MMA grows so high. So I think it's the biggest difference.
Best of luck, Yana.
Thank you.
Yep, Yana over here. You work at American Top Team. Can I ask, do you do a lot of sparring or specific training with Amanda Nunes?
No, I think I just saw her in gym a few times. Absolutely separate training. She's training separate of everyone.
Is that because, obviously you're in a division where you might eventually get the fight, or is that just a different decision?
Yes, absolutely, because we're close to each other, and it's this fight possible.
Thank you.
Welcome back. I know last time was a big fight for you, and it didn't go your way, kind of a frustrating result. I'm just curious kind of what you thought about that fight, what lessons you took out of it.
Well, yeah, it was a hard fight to lose. I think it was one of my worst performance ever. So, yeah, it happens. Yeah, it was hard to take, but I just took my time, swallow it, go back to the gym, train harder, and I'm here again.
Nice. And it's been about 9 months, so I'm curious, did you want that kind of added time off to work on things, or what was the reason for the layoff?
Actually, I had a broken foot just before the fight, and I needed a surgery. So as soon as I got to Guadalajara again, I got that surgery. And it took me 3 months off of any training. I couldn't train anything. And so I took the time to recover and eventually go back to training, step by step, recovery, therapy, and then, trying to make it to a full camp.
Yeah, I know you never make excuses, but in hindsight, do you feel like maybe you shouldn't have fought that night?
Well, we had to have the job done. We were there, we traveled, we signed a contract. It was a big fight. I didn't want to cancel that fight. I don't want to make excuses. It just everything was the perfect mix for failure that night. I got COVID a few months before the fight, and I struggled with that. So I tested negative until late September, and I was fighting early October. So I wasn't 100%. I needed to say that I was, because, well, I didn't want to say I'm not, but I wasn't. But I have a contract, and I wanted to make it happen, and it was a big fight. I wanted to do it, and I felt that I wanted to be able to overcome all those adversities and make the best out of it. And I tried, I make it, I failed, and I learned. That's it.
Well, you tried. That's what matters. And obviously, the UFC still believes in you. They gave you another top contender in Kunitskaya. What did you think when this was the matchup they gave to you? Stylistically, it seems like it should be a good fight.
Yeah, it should be a good fight. She's a well-rounded fighter. She can make it a hard fight in the cage, in the clinch, in striking. She's a good striker too. She can make it tough in grappling, wrestling. I think she's very well-rounded, and it's going to be an exciting fight. And I work to be as well-rounded as I can be, and well, yeah, it's a great matchup.
Yeah. The last thing for me, I guess, are you still thinking about like rankings and because we were talking about title shots, right? And I don't know that you'd be right back, but you're still right at the top. So are you thinking about rankings and where this puts me in title shot, or is it better to just let that stuff go and not think about it?
In this camp in particular, I focus to live day by day. I just focus on each day and step by step. I don't want to think even tomorrow. I don't want to think in the fight. Just living a day by day. I know I'm still there. I'm still in the top contenders. I'm still a hungry fighter for the title. I'm still chasing that title, but I know all the work is going to make it happen in its time.
Come on, over here, other side. You had said your last performance was the worst, but you didn't get finished, and you didn't get knocked out, you didn't get submitted. So do you take anything away from that even on your worst day, you can still go those 5 rounds against the elite of the division?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's the Mexican spirit. You can't kill us. Yeah, you can. I mean, it was my worst performance, but I was there, and I was trying to win that fight. And like you said, I wasn't knocked out, I wasn't finished. I was there, I was fighting, and well, yeah, that's. I think even in the fights that I have lost, I give a good performance, and I give all that I have, all my heart, all my technique. The last breath, I leave it there. So yeah, I think it's a great accomplishment that I didn't got finished in 5 rounds, even all that happened.
And then I know you wanted the honor of becoming the first UFC Mexican champion, but Brandon Moreno just became the first one when he beat Davidson. So what was your reaction, and what's the reception down in Mexico?
I don't mind. He's the first one. I'm glad. I lost my voice that night, and I was so excited that he made it, and what a way to made it. He did a great job, a great fight. He looked awesome. He looked spectacular, and we're proud of him.
Renee, to your left. Before Brandon Moreno got his title, though, your teammate Karina Rodriguez got hers in Invictus. So, I mean, how great was that to see?
It's awesome. We're getting some belts in the gym. Diego Lopez has his Luke's belt. Alessandro Costa has a Luke's belt. Karina Invicta belt. So we're getting there. We're getting bigger, and well, I'm proud of my team too.
And you mentioned Diego. When are we going to see him in the UFC? Like,
soon, I think. Right? Dana, I think he's ready. He's ready. The only thing that was stopping him was the visa issue, because he has his visa from Brazil, but he has now his visa. He's here with me, so he's ready. He's just waiting the call.
Yeah, exactly. And, you were very active before this little break that you were on. So is it kind of nice, though, just to refresh? And I know the injury was a part of it, but also just a little refresher.
Yeah, it was good. I took the time. I like to be very active. So it was a little frustrating at the beginning, because I wasn't able to do even anything, any night. I couldn't even lift a little weight because the doctor said no. But I took a breath and I said, okay, this is part of the game. This is part of the job. Injuries are part of the job. So I need to recover. I need to be smart in this. And I took advantage of the time. I focus on learning in some other things. I learn a lot of watching and watching the training of my teammates, videos, other parts of MMA, and also I spend more time with my cats. That was a good thing.
You had 7 last time. Have you added more?
6. I have 6.
Okay.
I have 6. Maybe, yeah. There's one that is begging for me to adopt him. Maybe 7. Yeah.
And then just during that time, I know you're a gamer. Any games you've been playing lately?
Oh yeah, I love video games. This is the camp that I have been playing more video games ever. I think that's the key that I'm going to win this fight because, yeah, that keeps my brain fresh and decision making fresh, and I think that's yeah, I enjoy it. Now right now I'm playing Sniper.
Good luck, Irina.
Thank you.
Irina over here. You say you have 6 cats. Would you say you are a crazy cat lady?
Yeah, definitely crazy, and I love cats, so yeah, I think.
Perfect. Secondly, I was wondering, what did you think of them picking Juliana Pena to take on Amanda Nunes next? I think a lot of people thought it should be Holly or Jermaine, and instead they went with someone lower.
Well, I think Holly and Jermaine are injured, and they already fought Amanda, so she raised her voice and she got it. It's good for her. I mean, she was there. She has been a good contender for a long time, and well, if the UFC gave her fight, well, that's because they think she deserved it.
How do you think that fight plays out between Juliana and Amanda?
Well, Amanda is really hard to beat. Honestly, she has shown us everybody that she's really tough, but anybody is unbeatable at some point. At some point you have to go down. So maybe Juliana can make it, maybe not. We don't know. It's going to be a hard fight.
Thank you.
Can I ask you what it means to be back here in the back? I'm sorry, Jack. Can I ask you what it means for you to be on this fight card in Las Vegas, in the fight capital of the world, on a Conor McGregor card, and just kind of explain what that means to you?
I love to fight in Vegas. I love it. It's like home to me. I have fought in here several fights and always got a good fight fighting here. Last time was a great experience for me. It was a big card too and got a win. So I'm trying to repeat that experience in here.
And this being the first big main card back after the pandemic in Las Vegas, have had him at the Apex, but the first sold out, T-Mobile, all eyes on this thing. What do you think of that?
It's awesome. I love to be in the arena again with all those fans, to be in the full arena. I love the experience. I love the energy of the people. I love the cheering, to see the flags, to see the excited people. It's just a plus for me because I don't know. I feel the energy and I love it. And to be part of this huge card, with these huge athletes like McGregor, like Cormier, it's great for me. I'm really excited. I'm really motivated. I'm really happy to be here.
Irene, over here on your left. As a dominant champion, it can sometimes be a challenge to find worthy opponents for Amanda Nunes. What unique challenges would you bring to the table in a matchup against her?
What I bring to the table, I think I'm in constant evolution. I think that I always have room to rebuild and to learn and to improve in every area. And I'm obsessed with that. I'm obsessed of learning everything. I will know as a striker, but I love wrestling. I love jiu-jitsu, and always focusing on improve every area, and not just technically, also mentally, physically. And especially that Mexican spirit, I know it's going to bring some trouble. I'm not an easy fighter to win.
And last one for me, I just want to get your thoughts and prediction for Saturday's main event.
predictions. These are hard predictions to make. Well, I think Poirier has all the heart and all the hunger, and McGregor. If we see McGregor again being focused on what he does, maybe he can get the win.
Yo. Ty, welcome back. 2-fight win streak. Great, great performance last time. How much better does it feel to come talk to us on this after going through those kind of setbacks?
Pumped to be back. Good to see that America's open and everyone's out and about. Hello, everyone. Good to see everyone back. So, yeah, I'm ready to fight for the fans.
Nice. I know I was talking about fighting for the fans. I mean, I know you don't get too caught up in the semantics of things, but I mean, this is a big card, right? Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, full T-Mobile Arena. I mean, does that excite you and bring things to a different level for you?
Hell yeah, you know that. It's game time now. Good to hear people again. Fuck, I could just hear myself breathing in the last fights. So it'd be good. I'm excited, man. I'm ready.
Probably won't have to struggle to find anybody to do a shoey with after, right?
Nah, I better not be. Better not be.
What'd you think of when they gave you this matchup? I mean, had you been watching Greg's career and his development? Did you know much about him?
Nah, not really. Like I know he's in the heavyweight division and whatnot. I saw him fight Brendan Sassoli. Oh, not Brendan Sassoli. And that was pretty much all I really knew. And I heard that he fought and he played in the NFL and that. So great achievement, like what an athlete, you know what I mean? To be able to represent yourself in the NFL and the UFC, it's a great achievement. But now he's talking about breaking my face and whatnot, but we'll see about that.
Have you watched much tape or tried to break down his game at all? I mean, obviously you said he's a big, strong guy that played in the NFL. He's going to be a great athlete, but do you watch technique or anything?
Not really. He's big and strong. I'm fat and strong. It's all good.
Fair enough. And camp this time, did you do camp in Dubai again, or was it Australia?
Nah, I went back home. Obviously, my son's back home and all this lockdown and stuff, so I haven't really... I was in Dubai, and then this time I went back home. So I've done this camp at home. As good as it can be, you know what I mean? I had to fly Junior Tuffer down, one of Justin Tuffer's little brother. So we've been training stand up with each other. Last couple of weeks, been down in the car park. So it's kind of really just taking it back to the streets, you know what I mean? And it makes me feel good. I feel good. I'm fit. I've been prepping. I've been training down at Rob's gym twice a week, doing some wrestling with Jaden. Man, I've just crossed my T's and dotted my I's and ready to bang on with this fella.
So from the luxuries of Dubai to a car park, that's any different?
I don't forget where I'm from, bro. I'm all right. I'm sweet with that.
Nice. Lastly for you, I mean, you said it, two big, strong guys, both of you heavy-handed knockout artists. I mean, is that kind of, we know what to expect here? This is two guys that are going to...
It's what we fight, isn't it? It's why we fight. It's why I fight. I fight for this shit. And, yeah, let's do it. I ain't backing out. That's for sure. I never have before, and I ain't going to now.
Tight. Is it the plan going forward now that America's open to get back to AKA and train there?
That's the plan. That's the plan. I've decided that I'm going to do my camps not in Australia anymore. There's nothing really there for me to reach that next level.
What was it like to make that decision, to know that you're going to have to spend time away from home to really commit to this and make a career, a strong path out of this?
It's nothing, like I committed to it before this COVID, so this has just been all just bullshit in between, you know what I mean? So hopefully, the only thing that's really stopping me is this quarantine back home. I can't, I can't send my son over here or send him back and put my son in a room for 2 weeks. I just think I might as well send him to jail.
Is it true that Daniel Cormier tried to organise a fight between you and Justin Willis when you joined the gym?
Yeah, that was the plan. Well, I wasn't going to drop it, so I said the only way, pretty much, we're going to see this through is if we put hands on each other.
So what happened?
Old Bud left the state, didn't he? It's usually what happens to people that want to trouble with me.
Fair enough. Thanks, Ty.
Right here, next one. You said you don't watch much tape on your opponents. Do your coaches watch tape on who you're preparing for?
Hope so.
Greg has said that after MMA, he wants to kind of jump into the boxing world. He himself says he has some of the better boxing in MMA.
He
yeah.
said that?
Yeah, this was past
Fuck
fights.
me dead. What's he watching?
And then his last fight, it seems he gassed out in the first round pretty heavily. So is the game plan just get him out of the first? And
I'm coming forward. So my pressure, everyone's seen me fight before. I can punch on for 15 minutes. This time I'm ready to punch on for 25 minutes. And now he's talking about not going to the ground. Well, fuck, let's do it.
And then he is kind of a polarizing name in the States. A lot of people hate him. A lot of people, they tune in to watch him fights. Have you felt any more magnitude on your fight specifically for this fight week?
What's magnitude mean?
Like, have you felt more eyes on your fight knowing you're fighting Greg Hardy?
Well, we're fighting on Connor's card. So this is the biggest card of the this is the hoorah. So, but this is an exciting fight. This is going to be two big fellas in the middle of the ring, and well, this is the storyline apparently. So, fucking, I'm ready.
Ty, the first time I had even heard about this fight, or the idea of it, was when Hardy put on Instagram, "Hey Ty, let's bang." What was your reaction when you saw that?
Well, Greg Hardy's name come up when my last opponent pulled out, and then I said yes. It was in, meaning I'd fight him that weekend, but then he wanted a camp or something like that. I don't know why they asked me for him. And then after the fight, they pretty much said, I would fight again if I stay in America on short notice again, but they said Greg would fight and whatever. So I kind of knew that it was Greg after my last fight. So, bro, it's just a name. I don't really care. We fight, man. I'm going to get in there and punch on regardless.
I mean, that's sort of your character. So what is your actual motivation? I mean, some guys are chasing titles or chasing paydays. What do you think about when you go to accept a fight?
I chase the money. I'm in this to feed my son. In this to give him a better life, you know. In this for him not to go and do this shit and bleed for your money, you know. I want to give him a good education and give him some stuff, you know, I didn't really get. So, and if I got to bleed for that, well then sweet, I'm all for it.
I'm trying to get on board with you mentally with the shoey thing. I mean, I'm a good hang, but it's the spitting part that really.
You never see me get COVID. I told you, this is the vaccine. I've been telling you this for years. A bit of spit, you know, does a lot.
Do you have a story of your favorite shoey that we haven't seen, either your grossest one or your highest profile one?
Yeah, I've had a few bad ones, real bad ones. 50 plus people spit. I know, there's something wrong with me, but I've accepted it.
Okay, final question on the shoey. When was your first and what was the situation, please?
I can't even remember. The shoey in Australia really is that's why I'm so amazed that it's become so big. It wasn't kind of made my grave and have to lay in it now. So, but it's just a natural thing in Australia. So it's just, fuck, what a way to get the party started and taking someone's shoe off and just, you know what I mean? It gets the blood pumping.
Hey, Ty, over here on your right. Ty, your last few fights, you've really traveled quite a lot for a lot of them. When you have that kind of travel and you want to just, you obviously got to lock in. Do you have a particular routine for these long trips from the plane to the fight week?
Nope. I'm tired of shit right now. I landed yesterday. No, not really. Just train, get my work in. Usually fight day, I'll just sleep and just wake up and get the party started.
I know there hasn't been a lot of it in the last year, but are you somebody who likes to kind of sightsee a little bit when you travel for fights, or do you keep it in the hotel?
It's depending if I can see or not.
Thank you.
Ty, over here on your left. In a surprising move, the UFC announced that Cyril Gane will face Derek Lewis for the interim heavyweight title. I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Big fight. Cyril Gane's probably, he's the next, he looks like the next best thing. But man, Derek's a bluer, and I wouldn't rule Derek out for sure.
And we've talked a lot about how you're well known for celebrating your victories with a shoey. What's your favorite beer to use for one?
drink West.
Fair enough. And a victory for you on Saturday night would result in a 3-fight win streak. Is it safe to say that you'd be looking for a ranked opponent next, assuming you win on Saturday?
Yeah, that's the plan. I wanna put Greg away in good style, and then I wanna start aiming at that top 15 again and start having a run back up there. I'm not in a rush. I feel I got a lot of years left in me, especially in fighting, and I'm not in a rush. Keep trying to get more money. Keep trying to feed my family. That's why I do this, man.
And you mentioned that you had to stay in a car park for this camp. Can you elaborate on some of the challenges of training in Australia for this past camp?
Other than the last couple of weeks, it's been fine. I've got to get all my training in. I feel fit. It was just the last couple of weeks we had to do our sparring down in the car park. That's nothing. That's really the only thing. But other than that, it's been sweet. I'm just excited to get it over with and get to one of these pool parties. I heard Vegas is fully open again, so let's go.
And last one for me. I just want to get your thoughts and prediction on the main event.
Ooh, I'm a fan of both. I like both guys, but I think McGregor has to win, like to keep him up there. So we'll go McGregor.
Thanks, Ty.
Thank you.
Hey, Ty, in the back here.
Yo.
You mentioned that, the Shui being an Australian tradition. I was wondering, how much, there's also a tradition in Australia, of course, of trash talk, sledging. And I'm curious how much you grew up in the sledging culture and how much you bring that to the fight game.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm fast off the top.
Yeah.
But I don't really sledge many. Like, I'm not really a sledge, am I? But it's more. Well, Titty got into a sledge with me and he fucking disappeared. So you can start if you want, but I'll go for days, months, years. Titty's still getting thrown around.
What was the sledging culture growing up?
Oh, Australia, we're good for it. We're off the top. You have to be good, or that's kind of our personality, you know what I mean? We're in it for a laugh. It's good to have a laugh and that. I suppose if you get a bit cut, you're going to have you'll have a hard time growing up in Australia, that's for sure.
Right on.
Hey, Ty, can I ask you to expand a little bit on when you're flying into Las Vegas and this is the first fight card, UFC fight card here in Vegas with a full house, T-Mobile Arena on this card. Can you kind of expand on your thoughts, your feelings of being here in Vegas, fighting on this card, what it means to you, and just the significance of this, being back?
Excited. I was there for Mark's fight against Brock Lesnar at T-Mobile Arena, and I walked out with him, and I felt that, you know what I mean? I felt that energy, and that's not you. That's not you walking out yourself. So I'm real excited to feel that energy from the people and the crowd, man. It gives me that spark, you know what I mean? It makes me want to go out there and fucking get it on. So I'm excited. I'm pumped. Ready for the crowd, man. I'm ready for the people to be back.
UFC heavyweight Greg Hardy, or is it like internationally acclaimed music recording artist Greg Hardy? You got the budding music career these days?
You could just call me Prince.
Prince, fair enough. Are you getting into music now? Is this something else? I mean, NFL and MMA wasn't enough?
I've been doing music for about 20 years, man. I think I dropped one when I was with the Cowboys. I dropped one before that. And now that I'm a part of the lovely UFC, who does not care what I do as long as I represent the wonderful brand in the right way, I'm able to express myself freely like Americans should be able to.
Awesome. I got a discography to catch up on then. Let's talk about the last one. Obviously, things didn't go your way there. Kind of a frustrating result. What lessons? I know you're kind of learning at this game on the job. So what lessons did you take out of that one?
That one was an on-the-job lesson for sure, man. Dude, I think I have been hearing that some people think that I'm a quitter. That is crazy. You guys have seen me in a full crucifix, my first fight. Did I quit then? 22 days notice, I go to Russia. I fight that guy for 3 rounds. Did I quit then? I'm talking busted face. And over again, Jorgen De Castro. I got kicked like 20-something times I could barely walk. Did I quit then? So on and so forth. So for me, I think I got to just keep in mind the lessons are going to keep coming, and that's exactly what it was, man. I got on the ground. I stuffed a bunch of takedowns after whooping his behind. He did not want to stand up anymore. His game plan was take a bunch of punches, which is a wonderful game plan, and then take me down when I got tired, which I did. And, I had to figure it out from there, and that's something that I couldn't figure out fast enough.
Yeah.
So I took some time and got back in the lab, man, like a young man's supposed to.
Yeah. It's funny you would say that. I've been hearing people say that I'm a quitter. People have said a lot of things about you, sir. Is that the one that sticks with you the most? Is that you're a quitter?
It hurt me. I'm the Kraken. I'm the Prince of War, baby. When have I ever quit on you? Anybody in this room, I got you. I show up, I show out. You got to put me out. The ref's going to stop it. I'm not going to tap.
So you took 7 months. I know you're a guy that would probably fight every week if they'd let you. Was that on purpose? Did you take some time and say, hey, let's step away? Because you'd been trying to rattle off fights. Was that a conscious decision to say, let's step away a little bit and let's work on the game?
Once you're tied for the most active heavyweight in the world, you kind of get no, I'm kidding. It was 100% on purpose, man. Like I was saying, once I hit the ground, it was a problem of solving the situation, solving the problem, and I couldn't do that, and that was the issue for me. And throughout my career, even when I was in that crucifix, I knew the answer. I just had to get to it, and when I couldn't get to it last fight fast enough, I knew at that moment I was like, yo, it's time to take a break. It's time to go back to the lab and find the answers. There's something that we missed.
So they come to you with this matchup after that, right? It sounds like you're talking about like technically improving and getting smarter, but then they put you in a guy that's just probably going to stand and brawl with you, right? Like this is like, it seems like an old school heavyweight fight. So what did you think when this was the matchup they presented with you?
I asked for it, man. I called him out. I was like, let's do it, because honestly, this is a business, and in a business, you got to have that turnaround fight. And I feel like, from my perspective, I was thinking about myself for one, and secondly, the fans, man. All right, we've had one where we're going to challenge Greg Hardy. We're going to see what he can do. I failed. Happens. I knew that this was going to be my journey from the beginning. It was going to be a little bit rougher than everybody else's. And now it's time to entertain these guys. It's time to come back with the full. And at the end of the day, what guy haven't you seen come in there and try to take me down? Everybody talks like he's going to knock me out. Greg Hardy's a villain. I'm going to put his face on the pavement and bounce it off of it and blah, blah, blah. And then they go surfing for shoelaces, just nose diving. So I still think it's going to be up in the air fight. And I talked to some guys earlier and I was like, I'm here to be a mixed martial artist, man. So I am approaching this fight ready for whatever, but I took it knowing that I'm here to entertain, man, and we need to get back to that real quick before I go chase this gold.
And you feel like Ty is the guy that'll deliver on that? Because I don't see him shooting a lot of takedowns.
I'm praying for it. My style. Let's bleed. Look, if he thinks that I'm scared, let's meet in the middle, and we'll see who quits or who dies. And I'm down for either.
Nice. Last thing for me, what are you hoping to accomplish here? I know you want to win. Like you said, you always say you're going to put on a show, but do you feel like you're in there to like show some growth or show some kind of like technical advancement in your game, or is it just
for who? I feel like I've given you a lot, right? I feel like generosity-wise, man, I've given you my heart, my soul. I've improved every single fight. And now, man, it's for me. I'm living the dream out here, dude. I just got done playing in a Pro Bowl, and now I'm about to fight on my second Conor McGregor card. I'm having the time of my life. This fight is one I needed. Win, lose, or draw. I'm about to go out there and put on a show. I'm going to give you everything that I got, and if it's not enough, we're going back to the lab, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be enough.
Great.
Yes, sir.
I'm curious, do you feel like you're ahead of schedule or behind schedule in terms of where you thought you would be when you came into the UFC?
It's a crazy answer. I'm ahead of schedule, but it's not enough.
What are the touch points that you use to mark? Like, are there things that you point to say this is why I'm ahead?
Growth, diversity in my ability to manage my martial art archive. I have all these things that I've been learning over the years and months of grueling practices, and when I get into the octagon, my ability to call upon them, use them meticulously in the right time is how I gauge that. And last fight, I showed a lot of growth, from just the fight before it. Managing my systems was not one of those places of growth. So I would say that's the thing that, you know, makes it not enough. There is so much more to go, but as far as being in 3 years of learning how to throw a punch, learning what a underhook was, we're so far ahead of schedule, man.
You know, when you came in, the expectations were so high on you because of what you had done in the past, right? You know, Pro Bowl, NFL player, and, you know, such an elite athlete. But, you know, what advice do you give to others that look at this? You know, is patience the number one thing? Because, you know, no matter how great you are at basketball or football, it's a different thing when you're standing there in your underwear with a guy trying to punch your head off.
Patience and managing your expectations. It is very hard to live in this world when people love, like my man said, they love to talk about me. And it makes me want to be so much better and go so much harder, so much faster. But you really do have to take your time. You really do have to take your lumps. And you really do have to understand that this is a process. And you need to go through that process if you want longevity.
Of the guys you beat, I don't think anybody you beat is still in the UFC. So I don't know if you're beating them so bad you're knocking them out, right? But the guy, and then they're putting. It seems like you're getting different kinds of opponents. Volkov, you know, a really elite guy that you're facing, albeit on short notice, and then guys that are, you know, maybe UFC debuting. Do you want to get more on a consistent basis where everybody you're fighting is on that level, and that, you know, you're fighting guys that are, you know, in the top 10 or 15, and not just, you know, this up and down that you've had?
Managing expectations. 2 fights ago, we were just talking about, hey, is Greg Hardy still in the league? Is he going to fight somebody that's good? Is he going to... And 2 fights before that was, well, Greg Hardy's not fighting anybody. He's fighting trash cans. And 2 fights before that, it was, can Greg Hardy fight? So I just feel like, man, it's been a short run since, not this last January or last whenever it was, 2 Januaries ago when we were walking into New York and everybody was like, why are we letting this guy fight? You know, like I said, I'm exactly where I need to be, man. And it really isn't up and down. I'm fighting people that have better records than me, that have more experience than me, that have more ring time than me, that have fought weaker opponents than me. And I'm overcoming. I'm the underdog in every one of these situations.
And last thing for me, Greg, or Prince, I guess I should say.
Please and thank you.
You know, you got it. You know, Dana said there was a fighter, I can't remember who it was, but a fairly prominent fighter that got cut a couple weeks ago, and he was saying, when you can't win a championship, I'm looking for guys that I believe can win a championship. The fact that you're still here, 3 years later after you came in, does that say something to you that they believe you can still become the UFC heavyweight champion? And do you feel that is in your future?
I feel like those guys see that I'm here to work, that I'm articulate, I'm awesome, and I appreciate the opportunity, man. And I'm going to make the most of it. You know, some guys, they go out there and they don't make the most of it. And even if they do, sometimes the business end of it doesn't allow you to do that. And I feel like I've maximized on both ends. And when my time comes, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to go away. Still going to chase that gold. So I wouldn't say that I'm here because they know that I'm here to chase the gold. I think I'm here because I'm qualified as hell.
Greg,
what's up, brother?
Are you still training with Rashad?
Yes, sir.
What do you make of his coming out of retirement, calling for that Logan Paul fight?
Bro, he's going to beat the crap out of. He's been practicing with me, man. I've been at 320 up 4 months ago. He's been wrestling a 320-pound savage and beating my behind for about 6 months, man. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that he would destroy John Jones right now, brother. But I think it's amazing. I think that, wow, who says we got to quit? Like, I'm so happy to be out of the NFL where once you're 28 years old, you're trash. You know?
And then, I know you've said you've eyed a career in boxing after this. Lately, we've seen these massive paydays. Even for bare-knuckle boxing, we've seen all these celebrity crossovers into the boxing world. Are you seeing that payday, and are you still looking for that after your MMA career?
We don't care about the payday, brother. We here. I'm getting paid, trust me. I don't show up unless I'm getting paid. But first of all, we're not eyeing anything. We're going to boxing. Hopefully, you know, the big man is going to help me do it, and maybe I get to knock out a Sean Merriman or Ocho Cinco, one of those fake heavyweights that don't really want to play this game with me. But it's very serious. I'm coming for Deontay. Just like in this league, man, I'm coming for Deontay Wilder. I'm coming. Did you see that video of him lifting weights?
Yes.
Oh, my God. That guy can beat me, and he can't take me down? Okay. I'm coming for all of them, bro. This league, that league, and I don't want to choose. If I could fight Volkov and then go fight the Bronze Bomber and then come back and fight Cyril and then come back and fight fat Lewis, I'd do it. I am going to do it.
So 2 questions. What do you make? Who do you?
One more fat.
Who do you like in the Fury Wilder, and who do you like in Gone Derek Lewis?
Fury Wilder. I got it. Oh, that's a hard question, bro. I love the Gypsy King. I got to go with the Gypsy King, bro. He's a savage. He's the embodiment of Greg Hardy. Never quits. And then I think I'm going for Cyril, bro. I can't support fat. I can't do it. He's gelatinous. He's lazy. I can't root for him. He's a great fighter, but I refuse to do it. Plus, he talks too much trash about me.
For what it's worth, I think he's trying to lose weight. What is the
Popeye's helping him do that?
What's the issue between you and Derek?
He ran his mouth.
So is that a fight you're just destined to have one day?
Say my name, and I'm gonna come for you. The boss is gonna send me, and that's a guy that wasn't mentioned, but decided to grace his fat Popeye's greasy chicken lips with my name when I was a peasant, when I was a young child. What grown man? What would it look like for me to go attack somebody that just came off the Contender Series right now? You'd be like, he's childish. But you guys let that man gyrate, belittle me? Nah, he needs to be handled. He's an ex-con that doesn't know when to shut up. I'm going to put him down when I need to. And of course, timing's everything. I'm still not there yet. And I'm willing to admit that he is a better man right now. But he's still a fatty.
Tuivasa was out here earlier, and he described himself as fat as well. But would you say Derek's in worse shape?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
He's out there videotaping guys robbing his minivan. What is he? He's not even at work. What's he doing? Come on, man. That guy, he's the kind of guy that waits till the 3rd round, plays possum, and then throws a bunch of haymakers, bro. That's MMA to you? He even told you guys. He looked in all y'all's faces and said, I don't really want to do this. I'm not going to learn wrestling. You remember that, right? What if I said that? That's all I'm saying.
Hey, Greg, over here. When you initially called out Tuivasa on Instagram, what did you see about his game that you felt you would have advantages against?
None.
You were just interested in a slugfest?
I'm a savage. I went and sought out another savage that wanted to fight me, that didn't want to go lunging at my knees.
He's a different kind of savage, though, with the whole spitting in the shoe and drinking out of it. I'm looking for your reaction to that practice.
No, bro. Hygiene. We ain't drinking. You know what? If I bounce his head off the octagon floor and he offers me a shoey, I'll sip it out of camaraderie. But that crap's nasty. Shout out to Australia. I respect what you guys do. That ain't how I roll, though. That's gross.
You mentioned the criticism that you've taken at different times by the media. Do you keep specific receipts, either for motivation or to want to come back at the end and prove people wrong?
No, that quitting thing just hurt me. I literally just heard it yesterday. I was like, and it wasn't even the fact that, I think Tuivasa said it. And then some of the other, DC actually said it. He was like, dang, did you, no, like the fact that he asked the question, I was like, what? And the people believing it is what got to me, really. It was like, you guys have seen me time and time and time again, quarter after quarter after overtime, bleed for you guys. Like, why would you believe that?
You're on a different timeline than so many other fighters, obviously, because you came to the sport late and you got a celebrity name and all that. Do you feel any kind of pressure to avoid a loss here to go to a 500 record, that there's any kind of a quicker hook because your fights get much more attention than a guy with your number of fights typically gets?
I'm going to be 500 if I lose?
In the UFC, excuse me.
Man. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not here to contemplate on losses. I'm here to which is why I was so upset. I'm here to put everything that I have in the ring. I'm here to entertain on the highest level. I could sit here and dance for you, give you the Sean O'Malley, like I'm going to knock him out in 2. Even when I lose, I don't lose. But that ain't real, guys. I'm the every man's man. I'm the guy that came in here and didn't know anything and told you that I was going to be here for a long time. And here I am.
Greg, over here on your left. I was just wondering if I could get your prediction for the main event on Saturday.
I want to say McGregor so bad, bro, just because I'm a McGregor fan, but I'm formerly a part of the ATT gang, man, and Dustin Poirier is a savage, so we got to go with Poirier.
Did you have any insight into his camp at all preparing for this?
Nah, I haven't been to ATT in a while. Left there a year and a half ago, so haven't really had any contact with that guy or the gym or his coaches or anything like that.
And we've talked a lot about your desires to transition over to boxing eventually. When we talked to Tuivasa earlier, he kind of laughed off the idea of you competing at a very high level in boxing. I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Like y'all did when I wanted to fight in the UFC. Don't listen to that guy, man. He drinks beer out of a shoe, bro.
Thank Greg.
Hey, Greg, in the back.
I can't see you.
On your left.
I can't answer your question either. It's Prince or Mr. Hardy, please, sir.
Apologies, Mr.
No
Hardy.
problem. Yes, sir.
A big part of the fight game is promotion and marketing. Obviously, you're making fun of Sean O'Malley, but it's a big part of McGregor. What got him onto this big stage. And I'm curious how much you think about using the perception of yourself as a villain to that end, like for promotion and marketing purposes.
I'm not a villain. I'm well-spoken. I'm pretty. I eat well. I have kids. I'm a great father. I'm a great citizen. I'm an awesome American. I'm a Republican guy. I vote. What kind of villain would I be? I've never been convicted of anything that they said I was. I mean, dude, I'm a regular run-of-the-mill guy that's learning on the way up, taking responsibility for his mess-ups, and taking over, man. If I bow down to this villainous, cowardice, stigma, dogma that they try to put on me, I wouldn't be a prince now, would I? I'd be a peasant.
So you don't want to use it?
I'm a future king, brother. Why would I bow down? God bless you guys. Thank you.
I think I feel very good. It happens, and then the lessons that I learned, it was priceless. I learned so much. I'm grateful for what happened because I had to dig deep so much to understand why I was too emotional, and I did. And then I got good answers that I think if it didn't happen, I would have those answers. So yeah, I just see in a good way. I'm grateful for what happened. And I'm grateful for those losses. Those losses always going to walk with me and make me a better person and a better fighter. So, yeah, I'm grateful.
Yeah. I know you would never make excuses or anything like that, but you touched on it, the emotion. It was such an emotional fight for both you guys. But, is there a way to work past that? I mean, do you think that contributed to the performance at all that night? Did it make it more difficult?
Like you said, no excuse. I think I came very aggressive. That was on my game plan. I think we thought that gonna make him wrestle if I come as aggressiveness, very, very aggressive. I thought that gonna make him wrestle me, and then I was ready to counter those wrestlers with the jiu-jitsu, with a couple submissions. We working a lot of tricks to counter the wrestling. So I want him to wrestle, but as soon as I touched him very hard and I look at his eyes and I saw his eyes was kind of rolling, I said, okay, now I'm going for the finish. And it didn't went my way. I think for sure the emotional, the way I went too angry, it didn't play as good as I thought. But in the same way, Kamaru is a great champion. He adjusted very well, and I was very impressed with his performance. And I think I make a lot of mistakes, and he was able to adjust and take the better off my mistakes, and I already move on. It took me a couple of weeks to move on to that, but I already move on, and he's been evolving so much. I think after that he fought a great fight against Jorge Masvidal, and then he shows how good he is, and I'm here to do the same. I move on, and I'm facing one of the more dangerous striker in the division, and I'm excited about it.
I was going to say, in your return fight, obviously they showed that they still think of you as a top contender by giving you Wonder Boy. What did you think when they gave you that as the matchup?
anyone, you know, if you can't personally, I know they're never gonna say that in the media, but if you personally ask Sean Shelby, never turned down a fight, it's not gonna be the first time. And I just, to be honest, I talked to Ali, my manager. We sat down, talked to the coach, and the dream's still there, still alive. I still want to be the champion. That's my main goal. And we see how many fights I should have to get a title shot. But that is a question that no one can answer. It should nowadays it's all about a performance. You know, if you go out there, we see couple guys 10-fight win streak, 7-fight win streak, they don't get a title shot. Why? Because of the performance, it didn't make a good case. So, and then I say I want to get the title again. You know, I want to get to the title shot. I want to win that title. That's my main goal. And then, okay, let's get the top guys in the division. And then I asked for the number 1. He said no. I asked number 3. They say no. So who's next? Number 4, 5. And then that's how we break down the fight. And they offered me a Wonder Boy, and I say yes right away. And there's the fight to make. And I think stylistically too, he's a great matchup. And me and Wonder Boy, we're on the same path. We fought for the title. We both get a little taste of that title, but we still want to be the champion. So yeah, that's a great fight.
Last thing for me, you talk about stylistically what he brings to the table. Is preparing for him maybe more difficult than anybody else in the division because his style is so unique?
Yeah, was very. Let me put the right word. It was challenging to get a guy, because my thing is I don't want just a guy that's gonna be a little karate, right? I don't want a guy I want a guy that's gonna be able to do the style, but on the same time, give him the concepts. You know, I'm like me in jiu-jitsu. I saw a couple guys in jiu-jitsu. They're very good, but sometimes I make, hey, how do you do that? The guy don't even know. I don't want that kind of guy. I want a guy that can do the style, know the concepts, know what he's doing. And it was hard to get that guy until I was in the Bellator fight. One of my guys, Adam Borks, he fought over there, and I saw John McCartney was there, and then he said, you fighting Wonder Boy? Who you gonna bring? He said, man, I don't know. I'm thinking, and he was the one that gave me, you should bring Raymond Daniels. And then I said, oh yeah, but he's a lot of experience. He said, no, Raymond Daniels is gonna be the guy. And then he said the words that I was looking for. He's not gonna, believe me, he's not gonna mimic the style, but he's gonna give all the concepts. I say, okay, that's the guy. And then I started making the contacts, and then he was there over the month training with me. I brought another karate too. And that was the challenging, find the right guy, and thank God I find Raymond Daniels. He was the guy to help me getting prepared for this fight. And we put hours and hours in work, twice a day, every day was me and Raymond drilling, training, sparring, freaking danger spar with that guy. And I think he got me ready for this fight for sure. All my teammates the same for MMA. But yeah, that was the challenging thing on that preparation.
We're right here on the outside. Leading into your last fight, I think a lot of the narrative was you preparing to fight a teammate, and I think all of the questions were about that. This time you are fighting someone who is very much beloved by the fans. Is it at all mentally freeing not having to prepare someone that you have trained so much with in the past, like you did against Kamaru?
Every fight's different. So that fight, I knew the game very well, but Kamaru wasn't training with us anymore. And he being involved so much, I thought he was not going to evolve as much, but he did. It was a hard preparation, but I prepared a little bit more for the scrambles on the wrestling, on the grappling, trying to be very aggressive on the stand-up, forcing him to the grappling aspect to wrestle me. But I thought my preparation was perfect. I prepared very well for Kumar. Was a little bit more mentally that I got very emotional, I think, because of the history that we have. But now preparing to a guy that I don't know, but on the same time I don't have training partners at the gym that do the same style. Every preparation is challenging. If you want to become a champion and be the best, sometimes you gotta go out of the book, out of the charts, and look for a good sparring and study and watch the tapes. And I think every camp is hard. If you really want to perform at your best, you got to work hard on every single one, and every single one is going to be different.
Were you surprised that they offered Wonder Boy for this fight? Stephen Thompson has said like he thought he should have been next for the title, and then when Kamaru fought Jorge, they booked you guys. Were you surprised that you didn't get anyone else in that top 5 before they fell to number 6?
As soon as I lost the title shot, I know it's gonna be. To be honest, the first title shot I don't think is as hard, but the second title shot is harder, you know. So I know I had a long way, so I was taking everyone in the top 5. If you know one of the top 5 was available, I was looking for number 6, 7, 8. Can you guys hear me? Oh, I won the Kobe fight so much. That was the fight that I wanted, but you know, a lot of things changed, and I was fighting for the title. So I was into the next one. The next one was Wonder Boy. I was in. Yeah, as soon as they offered, I said yes, and we got it.
Gilbert over here. Gilbert, last year you made the decision, you know, you could have stayed busy, but you said you were going to wait. You knew you had the #1 contender spot, so you waited for Kamaru. Leon Edwards, he's on a great run, but it seems like he might be stuck. Will Kamaru pick Colby? Will he go another direction? In your opinion, what should he do? Do you feel like he should wait for a title shot maybe, or do you think stay busy?
I don't know. He does whatever he wants. I think to be honest, I was cheering for him. I want him to finish Nate Diaz and get a title shot. So then I will fight Kobe. That was what I wanted. But as soon as he won on a decision that I know was in a big case, I knew Kobe was going to fight next, and I don't know. I don't know what he should do. He got to talk to his manager and make a good decision, but I think if you're staying busy, if you're fighting, you know, the fans are behind you, the media and everything. I don't know. If it was me, I don't know. It's hard to say because he's not the next. You know, next is Kobe, so I don't know. He's a tough position, you know. But I think if you're young, if you're in your prime, I think he should be fighting, you know. But I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know what his plans. I don't know.
I know you're focused on Steven, but do you feel like if you get a victory on Saturday that Leon might be somebody you would want to be matched up with?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I think, first of all, I'm just focused on that guy. He's a very tough opponent, and I'm not looking past to him, so I have no idea who I'm fighting after that fight. So we focus on that fight first, and after that we'll see. But like I said, I'm not gonna say no. If they offer me Leo or anyone that they offer me, for sure, if he's on the top 5, top 8, it makes sense, I will fight. I would say no if they offer me freaking, you know, I don't know, Joan Hernandez, I say, or I'm gonna fight that guy, you know. But for sure, if it's the guy that makes sense, I'm gonna fight.
Thank you.
Gilbert, to your left over here. How beneficial has it been for you getting to work at the Institute of Human Performance?
Yeah, man, the Institute of Human Performance, IAGP, they put in my cardio on a different level. I always thought I was great on cardio, great physically, especially at 55, but I was cutting so much weight that we decided to go to 170, and I didn't feel as much that transition because I was already a big 55. I was kind of cheating at 55. I was just making weight, but I was never even 170 at that time, so they helped me so much going up in the division. And then after I let the UFC know, UFC very quickly asked me for short notice. I took it. So yeah, they've been a great part of my preparation, on my camp, on my career. I think we're working over, I would say 4 years. I think that we've been working together. They're doing an amazing job, and yeah, they've been a great team, helping me out to get better. Yeah.
And, you know, just speaking of your cardio right there, after seeing Nate and Leon fight in a non-title, non-co-main, 5-rounder, were you kind of hoping to maybe have that with Steven here?
Yeah, every time I want to do 5 rounds. I don't want to do 3 rounds anymore, but it was a huge opportunity to be co-main event on Conor McGregor with the fans, open arena. So yeah, I'd say yes, but I would like to fight 5 rounds every time. You know, even if you, I don't know, I think even if you rank it, you gotta do 5 rounds. If you think, you know, on becoming a champion, you gotta do 5 rounds, you know, and not just main event. I don't know. I think for sure we gotta get compensated for that. But yeah, I would like to do 5 rounds again.
And you mentioned the fans right there. How exciting is that for you to get this full crowd back?
Yeah, super excited. Family's gonna be in town. A lot of friends, and I never fought in Conor McGregor card. I watched a couple of his fights live, and yeah, I'm excited to the loud arena.
Best of luck, Gilbert. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gilbert, you mentioned Conor McGregor in the main event. How do you actually see it playing out, this third fight between the two?
I don't know. It's gonna be a tough one. The question is even is the same question when I was training with Vitor Belfort in the beginning. Which Vitor is gonna show up? That was the question, right? When Vitor was fighting, and that's the same question with Conor. Which Conor gonna show up? That's the question, but I don't know. I like both guys. I'm Brazilian, live in Florida. Dustin Poirier right there. I like Dustin's style a lot. I like Conor too. People hate a lot on Conor, but I like the way he fights. I don't know. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to be watching.
Gilbert, over here on your left. I got to ask you, Nate Diaz has some comments on your performances against Hooker and Usman, even going as far to call you an amateur. Is that still a fight that interests you?
For sure. Easy fight, easy money. For sure, we'll fight Nate any day of the week. And not on my plans right now. I don't think he deserves to fight me right now. I'm number 2 in the world right now. But he's a big fight. He brings a lot of eyes, a lot of fans. Why not? And he just come from 2 losses, and then the 2 losses that they have, those 2 guys lost to the guy that beat me. Those 2 losses, who was the Masvidal and Leon Edwards. Kamara beat both, and I lost to Kamara, so he's not much he can say about it. I kind of try to keep a respect to all these OG guys in the UFC, but at the end of the day, you guys got so many losses that I'll fight him for sure, but I'm not chasing that fight, chasing the belt.
And last one from me. It seems like a lot of people online are speculating that your path to victory is by way of your grappling. As someone who's proven to be an elite striker, do you have a preference of where this fight takes place, whether that be on the feet or on the ground?
Against Wonder Boy, yeah, for sure. I think the path to win is to get close to him, and that's a hard thing to do already. But for sure, I see me having an advantage against anyone if the fight goes to the ground. Anyone in that division. If the fight goes to the ground, I think that's where I get a lot of high advantage against anyone. But I show that I got power, that I got heart. So yeah, I just gotta be a little bit more disciplined against Steven Wonderboy, and I think if I follow the strategy, if I do the things that I execute in training, if I execute on the fight, I think I'm gonna be the winner.
Thanks, Gilbert.
You're welcome. Good. Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah. Gilbert, I got a question for you on the. Can you kind of expand a little bit more on just how fun it is to be on a Conor McGregor fight card, and also this is the first UFC main card back in the fight capital of the world with a sold-out T-Mobile arena. I wonder if you can just expand on why is it so fun to be on a McGregor fight card? What's the impressions of being back in here with a full house in the fight capital of the world in Vegas?
I don't know. We're gonna find out Saturday. I don't know yet, but I think the eyes that he brings is something different. I think a lot of like me and most of the guys we know are as big star at Cormier, but with the eyes that he brings, being a common event, I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on that card. That's why, and they ask you for sure, say yes, for sure, I want to 5 rounds, I want a main event, but the eyes that Conor brings, for sure, I want to be on the Cormier. Very excited for that, and the open arena is going to be different because it was being the new normal for me, the empty arena. I was the first one, then in mine Brazil, then Tyron Woodley, then Kamaru Usman, all with no crowns. Now with the crowns, I think it's going to even feel weird. But I'm excited for that, and it's a privilege to be on the big card back in Vegas. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm excited to be on it.
And one more, the Nevada Athletic Commission no longer bans I don't know if you smoke pot or not, but it's no longer illegal. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I don't smoke. I don't I don't use drugs. So, on the same way, I have a lot of friends that you adult. You do whatever you want to do. I'm not here to judge. But what did the commission did? They allow now. They don't allow. What was the question again?
Yeah, it's no longer a banned substance.
That's okay. That's not gonna make no difference for me. But I don't know. I think it's a good thing for the guys who smoke, but nothing against. I don't know. You do whatever you want. You know. Yep. Thank you guys.